Come to a seated position on your mat. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees and close the eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then bringing your hands into Lotus Mudra in front of the chest. Bring your hands into prayer and then leave the base of your hands touching. Leave the thumbs touching and the base of the thumbs and the pinky fingers as well. And then splay out your fingers. The message of the Lotus Mudra is to stay connected to your roots while opening up to the light. So today we're going to concentrate on grounding and stabilizing in the legs as we open up the chest and the heart space. Now raise the Lotus Mudra up over the head and let your right hand sink to the ground. Reach your left arm up and over the head for a nice side stretch. Rotate your left pinky finger a little inward so you create more space for the neck. Inhale up through the middle. And exhale over to the other side, reaching the right arm up and over the head, reaching through the fingertips. Inhale back to the center, both fingertips on the ground. Open the chest, lengthen the spine. Let your right ear sink towards the right shoulder. And let the chin sink towards the chest. Moving in half semicircles, bring your left ear over to the left shoulder. Your chin sinks again towards the center of the chest, and then lift your head up to a neutral position. Uncross the legs, come over the knees into all fours. We're going to start out with a little bit of cat-cow. On your inhale, lift the chest and the tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, pressing the hands into the earth. Inhale, reach the chest forward and up. And exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine. One more time, inhale and lift. Exhale, round the spine. Find a neutral position and look over your left shoulder towards the left hip, moving the left hips over to the left as well for a nice side stretch. Come back to center and then look over the right shoulder at the right hip, moving the hips to the right. And back to center. Reach your right leg back behind you, toes on the ground, and then lift the right leg up parallel to the ground. Point your toes directly towards the mat. You can even look back to make sure. Pull the belly in and then reach your left arm forward. Your right foot is nice and flexed and we're reaching in opposite directions. And then bend your right leg and reach the right sole up towards the ceiling as if you're standing on the ceiling. Left arm comes back like a little airplane wing. And if you like, you can grab on to your right foot. Keep kicking up and back, opening your left shoulder. Breathe. And release. Reach the arm out, leg back, and release both to the ground. Nice little shake for the hips, and then stretch your left leg out behind you and float it up parallel to the ground. Again, point the toes down and lower the outer left hip so that the hips are parallel. Pull the belly in as you reach the right fingertips forward. Your thumb is pointing up towards the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears. Bend your left leg, flex the foot, reach the right arm back and maybe grab onto that foot. When you got it in your hand, kick back and up, opening up your right shoulder. And then release and let your right hand sink to the ground, left knee comes to the ground. Walk your hands forward, keep the hips above the knees and let the chest and the forehead sink towards the mat. Rest your head on the mat And breathe into the shoulders. And then move the hips all the way back, coming into Child's Pose, Balasana. And send your breath in between the shoulder blades. Slowly roll up to a seated position. And then come to standing on the knees. We're going to do a round of Gait pose. So stretch your right leg out to the right. Ground your right foot. Then reach your left arm up, right hand on the right thigh. Find length and then lean over to the right. You can look to the left or straight ahead, whatever feels nice in the neck. Breathe into that left side. Inhale back to center, knees in the middle, and then stretch your left leg out to the left. Plant your foot, reach your right arm up and over. Find space on the right side as you lengthen through the fingertips. Come back to the middle. Bring your left knee down. Curl the toes under, setting up for Camel Pose. Bring the hands to the lower back. Just a very light version of Camel Pose. Reach the shoulder blades together, elbows together. Press the hips forward, tailbone down. Engage the stomach and reach the chest up towards the ceiling. The chin is lightly tucked. And then inhale back up. Sit the hips back. Come into all fours and step your right foot forward into a lunge position. You might want to double up the left side of your mat under the left knee. Bring the right hands up to the right knee and allow the hips to sink forward. You might bring your hands into Lotus Mudra in front of the chest. You might open up the arms like little airplane wings, palms facing forward. Really open the chest here, reaching the hands back. Chin slightly tucked to protect the neck. And then come forward, hands to the mat. Move the hips back so you can step the right knee back. And feel free to shake out the hips a little bit before you bring the left foot forward and move into the lunge on the left side. Hands to the left knee, hips sink forward. Pull the belly in so your ribs aren't jutting out. And then maybe bring your hands up into Lotus Mudra. If this is too much for your lower back, please keep the hands on the knee. Reach the arms back if you like. Really open up the chest. Sending the breath up into the chest. And then lean forward, hands to the mat. We're just going to step the back foot forward now, coming into a forward fold. Feel free to find a ragdoll here, grabbing opposite elbows, swinging a bit back and forth and releasing the head and the neck and the shoulders. I like to interlace my hands behind my head. That just adds a little bit of weight and release in the upper back and neck. Keep breathing. Release your hands and slowly roll on up to standing. Once you're there, find Tadasana and then reach the arms up overhead and palms come together in front of the chest. And just take a moment to observe. And bring your awareness into your legs and your feet, noticing your groundedness, your stability. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms up overhead, exhale into forward fold. For some modified sun salutations, step your right leg back and bring the right knee to the ground. Inhale, arms up into the low lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left foot back into downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin sink to the mat. Inhale into cobra. lifting the chest, shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, press the hips back, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward. And exhale the left, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, come right back down into the forward fold. Inhale, half lift as you step your left foot back. And exhale the left knee to the mat. Inhale, draw the arms up overhead, sink the hips towards the mat. And exhale, hands come down. Step your right foot back into downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank, knees, chest, chin. And then inhale into cobra, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, hips back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left foot forward. And exhale, right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reach the arms up. And exhale, right back down into Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift as you step your right foot back. And exhale the right knee to the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up, feel the strength in your legs. And exhale, hands to the mat, step your left foot back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Nice little back bend in the lower back. Inhale, cobra. You can lift any amount in cobra. Exhale, hips back, moving into downward facing dog. Step right foot forward and then left. Inhale, arms up overhead. We're going to do that sequence one more time, coming right back down into Uttanasana. Lift the chest and head, step your left foot back, finding Anjaneyasana. Reach the arms up, hips sink forward, feet press into the mat. Hands to the mat, step your right foot back, Ardha Mukha. Inhale forward, rolling the body forward into plank, knees, chest, chin. Coming forward into cobra, lifting up any amount, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhaling, coming back down, moving into downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right into the forward fold. On your next inhale, come all the way up to standing, reaching your arms up and exhaling the hands together in front of the chest. Take a couple of breaths here, just noticing and observing. We're going to come back forward into Uttanasana, rolling down. Let the head get heavy, chin sinks to chest, arms are heavy. Roll all the way down into the forward fold. Then step your right foot back, big step, and let the knees sink to the mat. Walk your left foot out to the left and bring your left hand to the inside of the left foot. Plant your right hand and then roll open the chest to the left. Use your left hand on the left thigh for a little bit of leverage. You might bring your left hand to the heart. You might even lift your right foot and grab it with the hand. Keep rolling open that chest. Keep breathing into your quad muscle. And keep letting go. And now release the back foot gently to the mat. Left hand down. Walk your left foot now over right in front of your left hip so the feet are parallel. Walk the hips back into half Hanumanasana or half split pose. Your left knee might be bent. You might fold forward or stay upright. Try and keep a long spine, working your stomach towards your left thigh. And then bend your left knee, come forward, and walk the left foot all the way over to the right, and come into pigeon pose. Now walk your hands back, pull the left hip back, the right hip forward, finding some lift in the hips. You might stay here, or you might bring the hands together in front of the heart in Lotus Mudra. Or the last variation would be what I'm doing, stretching my arms out like airplane wings, palms facing forward, and opening the chest. Once you're ready, come forward, bringing your hands or your elbows, forearms to the mat. Feel the breath. Start to walk yourself up. Curl your back toes under and step your left foot back in downward facing dog. Take a moment to just walk out the legs. And then step your right foot forward and allow your left knee to sink to the mat. Right hand on the inside of the right foot. Plant your left hand and roll open the chest towards the right, bringing the right hand to the thigh, maybe the chest, or maybe you can reach back and grab the left foot. Wherever you are, let the hips sink, open the chest, and breathe. Gently release your left foot. Walk your right foot right in front of the right hip and start to walk the hips back. Your hips should be right above your left knee. You might need to readjust. And then come into the forward fold or stay upright. And keep pressing your right heel into the mat as if you're pulling it back towards you. And now bend your right knee, come forward and walk the right foot all the way over to the left. Curl your back toes under and bring your fingertips to the mat. Squeeze your legs towards the middle, working your left hip forward, right hip back. And then find the hand variation that you'd like to have, maybe with Lotus Mudra. Maybe the arms on the sides like airplane wings, opening up the chest. Chin slightly in towards the chest. And then come on forward to your hands or your elbows. And allow the hips to sink even more towards the earth. Slowly walk yourself up. Curl the back toes under. Step your right foot back. And walk out the legs. Now bring both knees to the mat, hips to the heels, forehead all the way to the ground. Into child's pose. Feel the breath moving into your back, between the shoulders and the neck. And then slowly roll up to a seated position on your heels. Now for another set of camel. Come to standing on your knees with your knees about hip width apart and your toes curled under. Bring your hands to your lower back, either fingers pointing up or down, and reach your tailbone down towards the mat. Draw your belly button in, and then start to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. And if it's okay for your neck, you can allow your head to fall back and bring your hands onto your heels, fingers on the inside, thumbs on the outside, and keep lifting in the chest, keep opening. And slowly bring your hands to your lower back. Walk yourself up. And bring the sit bones to the heels. We're going to stay here for a couple breaths. You can bring your hands up into Lotus Mudra. And just feel. Just notice. The fingers are spread wide. The heart is open. And then moving your feet over to the side, extend the legs out in front of you, and slowly come down to lying on your back. Make sure your ponytail's out of the way if you have one. Bring your hands to the lower belly, knees come together. And then draw your knees up into the chest and start to circle the knees a bit. In both directions, just massaging your lower back. We're coming into shoulder stand, so draw the knees up towards the nose and bring the hands underneath the lower back to support it. Walk the elbows closer together and then extend the legs up towards the ceiling. We're looking straight up towards the toes. We're trying to work the hips over the shoulders. Only do this pose if this is okay for your neck and shoulders. If not, then just come right out of it and enjoy an early Shavasana. If you're with me, allow the toes to sink behind the head, coming into plow pose. Your feet might reach the ground, they might not. Either way, extend the legs out and support your lower back with the hands. And then extend the arms, palms facing down, and slowly roll yourself with bent knees back down to the mat. Bringing the soles of your feet to the mat, and then lift up your hips to walk your hands underneath the sit bones, palms facing down. Make sure the elbows are underneath the back as well. And then extend out your legs, activate your legs, press the heels in the ground, elbows in the ground, lift the chest up. Let your head sink back and allow the crown of your head to touch the earth. And then slowly start to lift your chin up towards the chest and then release down onto the back. Release the hands from underneath the sit bones. And take a couple of breaths in Shavasana. And then hug in the knees. We're going to come into a twist. So bring the shins parallel to the mat. Bring both knees over to your right with the right hand and look over your left shoulder. Your left arm might be in cactus arm or extended out. Just make sure it's a nice, comfortable twist and that you can breathe with ease. And then move the knees over to the other side. You might look over the right shoulder. If that's too uncomfortable for the neck, then you can just keep the back of the head on the mat. Let your right shoulder get really heavy and sink towards the earth. Allow that opening in the chest and the shoulder. And then inhale the knees back up. Give them a nice hug. And moving into Shavasana, extend the legs out. Extend the arms out. And let go. Get heavy. Enjoy this moment of rest. Enjoy this moment of just being. Noticing the energy in your body. Noticing the breath. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.